Tessa from Mama's Geeky here. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel. Well, hi Jane. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today.
That's good. It's fun.
Oh my gosh. I went into the free fall like, okay, this will be fun. And then like it was so fun. Like I had so much fun just watching it all unravel. I'd love to know when you first picked up the script, like there's no way you knew what was going to happen at the end, right? Like how did you feel reading that script?
At first, I read it because I didn't see it; it wasn't visual, and I read it and I went, "Wow, this is really cool," but I'm not quite sure what happened here. Do you know what I mean? What's happening here? But even at the end when I was reading it, I'm going, "What? What's going on here?" It was like then it was like a close up into the eye. You go way into her eye, and I go, "Wait a minute, what is going on?" And I thought it was just like a really good script and a good role for me to get back into the American market, because I hadn't done a film in America in a very long time. So, people know me with those kind of roles. It was something that I could easily, like, it was a role that I knew I could get easily. It was a role that
Mhm.
was very within my realm of what people could see me as. So, yeah, it was a mystery. I had to unravel it a bit in my mind, when I acted that role.
Yeah, I can't imagine like reading it and not seeing it because I was even like, hold on, let me back up. I had to like back up like 20 minutes. I'm like, this is crazy what's going on. Like you just I love the feeling that I had no like the viewers have no clue what's going on, but she also has no clue what's going on. It's
Oh,
it's nuts.
yeah,
Um,
it is. It's fun. It's really fun. I think you're right. You have to approach it like, this is like you're going on a ride and just go with it.
yeah. And your character in particular, I'm like, there's gotta be something up with this chick. Like something's going on and you don't really know. Can you just talk about your approach to Rose?
Yeah, well, when I first started, I worked with a coach in New York, and we were like working on it more that she was in love with Sean Ashmore, the
Mhm.
devil, that she was completely obsessed by him. And even though it was kind of another dimension, the dimension of hell, it wasn't the kind of the light, it was the dark.
Mhm.
It didn't change the type of emotions that you have, that you could still become obsessed with someone and follow them like a cult. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I was sort of carrying out his desires and his wishes. But then I worked with another coach in LA who was came from a very different way of looking at it. And she said, no, you love Andrea, that character. She said, and you're saving her. You're saving her. And you believe totally in what you're doing because that's how delusional you are. And I thought that was a much stronger choice. Do you know?
Yeah.
So I kind of went with that.
I think it's so great. Like I said, I had so much fun. I love fun, creepy, weird stuff, and that's like exactly what this brings through, all the way right to like the final scene.
Yeah.
But I'd love to know. So you had to film this during the pandemic, right? Is that when you filmed?
Right before.
Oh, it was right before. Oh, good. I was gonna say, how would that have changed things? So that's good that it was before it was all done. So wow, it
I
must
mean,
have taken a while to come all together then.
yes, it did. It did take a while. And I don't know why. I'm not sure because I wasn't privy to all the production end of it. But it did take a while. I think it took about a year. I mean, people don't really understand how long it can take a film to come together, do you know? And
Hmm.
then it takes a while to figure out, there were a lot of producers, there were a lot of people involved, and who was going to sell the film. And then once they started, it went poof, there was a lot of interest and it just took off. But it took a while to get it, finished and yeah.
How long was filming?
Filming was, I think, I'm just trying to think back. I don't think it was very long, maybe 28 days,
Oh,
which is
wow.
which is kind of like the way things are filmed now. Like, even the notorious Rust film, the one that everything happened on, that was also a 28-day film. And that was, I think, a $5 million film. So, yeah, films nowadays are either short, they film short, or they film like 3 months, big studio pics. You know what I mean?
Hmm. That's cool. So, wow, that's crazy to think it was filmed in like 28 days, in like a month.
I know. Well, we had one location, so it was so easy. All we did was shoot in that house.
That's right. And then everything outside, I imagine, is right outside of that house.
right outside the house. So it was so easy.
That's great. So for like on set, obviously with something like this that's super creepy and weird, do you guys try to like keep it light when you're not shooting, or do you just kind of go all in and just be super like into it the whole time you're filming?
It's really interesting. I think for Andrea, her journey was a pretty intense journey. So I would say I don't like the days that I worked, I didn't see her all light. I think she took on a lot of, she had to kind of, the things that she went through emotionally, the fear factor, the screaming, the suicide, the nudity, the blood, it was kind of, as an actress, it's frightening. It's very frightening to have to go there. So I felt that in her. I felt that as an actress, she was staying with it. She was, she wasn't sort of going like this, she was conscious of the fact that she had a very big role, that she was the lead, and there was a lot on her. And I was conscious that she had to go through that, and I was there to support her. So, it wasn't about me, it was about the film, and it was about how can I best support the film and support her on this really harrowing journey that she had to go on.
Oh, I love that. That's so great that you were able to be there as a support system, because
Yeah.
I can imagine how intense that would be for her. Just watching it was intense. I felt it.
I didn't have the intensity. So, yeah, so I think that's right. It was that sort of thing for me on the set. Yeah.
So for people who haven't seen the movie yet, how would you describe it to them to try to get them to check it out?
It's a horror film, but it's also a psychological thriller. I think it's a film that you have to just go in knowing that you're about to go on a roller coaster ride. Just pay the money and go on the ride and just go with it. And it's super fun. It kind of takes you deeper and deeper into this kind of strange psychological, frightening journey of a young woman, an innocent young woman,
Yeah.
with a very surprising ending.
Very surprised. I was like, wait, what is happening?
Yeah.
And then I want to, as soon as it ended, it was one of those movies where I was like, okay, I want to watch this again because I want to pick up on things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because there's stuff laid throughout the whole movie that you go back and you'll appreciate it more the second time, I think.
Yeah, I had to read it a few times myself, and I did the same thing, Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Jane, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. I appreciate it.
I love this film, so thank you for, being supportive of it.
Of course. Yeah. Like I said, I had an absolute blast with it. I watched it and I was immediately like, I'm watching this again. And then I'm writing this review about it. And then I'm telling everyone I know about it. Like, trust me, just go in and like, you're going to have, I was very surprised at how much I really had fun with this,
Oh, that's so good. I'm so glad. Thank you. That's
Awesome.
great.
Thank you so much to all of my monetary supporters, my members here on YouTube, as well as my patrons. If you haven't joined yet, please consider doing so. We have some really awesome perks, including a monthly Zoom meeting where we get to talk face to face. Thank you again to everyone who supports me.